Hi, I'm Rebecca Wong. I'll be talking to you guys about biotechnology. Alright. In places where there are a lot of poverty, people often can't buy enough produce to get the balanced nutrients they need in their diet. With today's technology, we're trying to remedy that by making main crops that contain added nutrients. For instance, biotechnologist Dr. Indigo Potricus has created a daffodil and maize gene combined with rice to create golden rice, which is a light yellow colored rice that produces vitamin A. Now, in places like the Philippines, which according to Caton Dowling, a writer for Science Creative Quarterly, 17 Filipino children become blind every day due to vitamin A deficiencies. One would expect that this golden rice should be accepted right away in a country like this where it would help the deficiencies. However, due to concerns and critiquing and worries by the government and the public, golden rice has not been the lifesaver it was supposed to be. Unfortunately, many people worry about the possible risks associated with new technology and research, rather than the benefits they could provide. And that is where my proposition lies, that the benefits of bioengineered food outweigh the possible risks. I believe this for three reasons. Because 1, bioengineering of food benefits human health. 2, bioengineering makes food more available to the people. And 3, that bioengineering is safe because it is heavily regulated and endorsed by the FDA. Along with my example with the golden rice, bioengineering food benefits human health because, like the golden rice, it adds nutrients to diets that where people usually can't get the nutrients, rather maybe because of price, because it's not grown in their area, or situations such as that. Another example of bioengineered food helping human health is from an article in Nature Biotechnology made by a person called Peter Dorman in the Institute of Molecular and Plant Physiology, and he talks about a corn with enhanced antioxidants and vitamin E, and that also benefits human health because, the added vitamins and nutrients. Also, there are researches concerning bug-resistant plants that would require less pesticide, and therefore there would be less pesticide in your diet. Along with my second proof that bioengineering makes food more available to the people, there is a bioengineered corn that produces a higher yield, and there is a study on this in a research paper called The Performance of Bioengineered Corn Hybrids that several people in plant and soil science and research centers stated that certain bioengineered corn with YieldGuard, BT technology, GARST, and Delcab technology produce significantly higher yields than their respective conventional crops. Basically, they compared the two, the bioengineered and the non-bioengineered, and they found that certain, I think 4 out of 10 of these produced better yields. Therefore, it lowers the price and makes it more available to the people because then there's more crops to distribute. Another example are transgenic fish, where in a research paper, transgenic fish, this is a quote by a research paper that's doing a study on transgenic fish. The transgenic fish is clearly much larger than the same age normal fish at 18 months. However, overall growth of the same generation of fish evened out by 36 months. So basically the fish are growing faster and they can be harvested faster for human consumption. And there's no worries about some kind of mutant overgrowing giant fish because by 36 months they even out the growth. So they end up being pretty much the same fish, just that the transgenic one grows much faster. Also, there is like a tomato with tougher skin, like the Flavor Saver tomato and such, tomatoes that actually are being used today in certain canned tomatoes that have been made with tougher skin so they can be harvested mechanically, making the process much quicker and lower cost to the people harvesting, and therefore lower cost to the consumers. My third example is that bioengineering is safe because the FDA has many regulations for bioengineered food and regulates food in general. For example, plants that have been engineered with foreign genes to be resistant to pesticides or herbicides have been researched, grown, and consumed here for years. Though you might think that bioengineering is, really scientifical stuff and very controversial and difficult to understand, it's a broad term that applies to the use of living organisms and covers techniques that range from simple to sophisticated. So, though it sounds complicated, it could be the same as breeding dogs for the color of their fur. That's constituted as biotechnology, even though it doesn't have as much scientific backing behind it. Let's see. From the FDA Food Biotechnology Policy, there is a quote that says, "Fruits and vegetables and grains developed through biotech mark an evolutionary step in the production of new varieties," which is proof that the FDA supports biotechnology. And on the site of Health and Human Services, the FDA has a whole site that lists the guidelines that are required for testing. In fact, there's faculty inspections, labeling, hazard analysis, analysis of critical control point, and several other tests that they do on our food. As well as guidelines to our food. There's also food programs like frozen food locker facilities, canning safety inspections, seafood safety inspections, and several more. This can all be found on the website for the California Department of Public Health. So through all these examples, I hope that I have convinced you that bioengineered food is very safe and beneficial to our human society. Thank you.
No, don't stand up there. You feel more like you're a target then, and I don't want you to feel that way. This is supportive learning environment, and that's what we're looking for. I do kind of rush the comments sometimes because I'm trying to get them in. They have to be under 10 minutes for me to post them on YouTube. So I thought you had a very clear claim, an excellent layout of what the supporting structure was. Your definition of what the controversy is strong at the beginning, so all the setup is fine. The structure, though, when you get to it, I didn't think your signposting on those secondary claims was very clear. You had good declarative sentences in the preview, but when you got to those points, they were not always very clear. And for instance, on the third one, when you got to it, instead of my third claim, it was my third example. And I'm like, wait, huh? And so that was a little confusing. And so you want to be consistent about your labeling on that. I thought you had good examples, lots of examples to support your conclusion. Most of them are cited, a few of them are not, so there's some inconsistency on that. The statistics were not great. The closest you came to any statistics were the blind kids, I'm sorry, it sounds kind of callous, the blind kids in the Philippines, and maybe 4 of 10 of the types of products that are producing some benefit there. Everything else was primarily factual data. Lots of factual data, and again, a little bit inconsistent on the source citations. At one point I heard a research paper is being quoted, and that's not a very clear source citation, so you want to be more specific on that. I thought the presentation was really solid. You did a good job talking to the audience. There's good variety in your voice, your gesturing. You look natural and comfortable while you're up there speaking, so no problems there. All right, thank you.